Welcome, everybody, to an unfortunate bonus episode of the Jurassic Park podcast. I'm sure you all know why we're here. I am Brad Jost, and with me today, I have Jay Jurassic back on the show to talk about the one and only Sam Neill, Alan Grant to all of us, and just an all around amazing human being. We wanted to sit here and remember him because he's an important part of our lives. And, you know, we don't really know what to say about all of this, but we wanted to be here and, just grieve with all of you and hopefully comfort you at the same time, So Jay, I don't know how I was going to ask how you doing, but, I know you're doing horrible, I'm sure, but, what can you tell me?
How do I even start, really? It's just it's been a really long day, I'd say. I know that a lot of us had to work, and when you're working, you have to, be professional and keep certain emotions down, stuff like that. And it's been a day like that where I had to kind of can everything for a while. And when I got home, because I was actually staying at my girlfriend's last night, and this morning I got all the messages, and I had to go to work, and I had to do a semi-large piece tattoo where I had to have full concentration. And once I got home to my realm, which is just Jurassic Park everywhere, that's where it really hit. And it's been, yeah, I don't, you know.
No, I totally feel you there, man. I mean, so running through the day, I guess I had woken up and that's where I noticed it. It was right away. I had, because it had happened, I guess, or the news had come out a few hours before I woke up, and people were already hitting up my chat and all over the place, just like
Hmm.
filling me in and it's one of those things where you like read the little description before you actually open up the chat, and I was like, oh no, what's going on? What's going on? And yeah, so it was an absolutely horrible thing to wake up to today. Um,
Hmm.
and everybody can say, "Oh, it's just an actor. It's just somebody." I have no idea. I've never met the man, right? Like I've never actually met Sam Neill in person or anything like that. But that doesn't matter because people like this, people like Sam Neill, Jeff Goldblum, Laura Dern from this franchise. We've spent so much time with these characters. We've spent so much time with
Hmm.
their stories, their journeys, and especially at such an informative age, with us being like kids when we were first introduced to these people, and Sam Neill in particular being really the heart of that first Jurassic Park movie, and being just honestly like uh, right before this because now it is late at night, so I've had an entire day to deal with this and sob about this all day. Who knows? It might still happen. I don't know, um, but I actually was just telling my son about the news. It was like at his bedtime, and I'm like, I don't even know. Should I bring this up? He doesn't follow it as much as we all do, but
Yeah.
and I told him, and he's like, I don't even. He's like, they're not my favorite movies, but yeah, that's really sad. And but like, it makes me think about like being his age, and that's why it's so important because I was 7 years old or whatever when I first was introduced to this character, and a person who is just a man, a flawed guy that he doesn't like kids, but like we all loved him, and every kid in the movie loved him. Like he's
Yeah.
essentially a superhero to us. He is a hero without being a hero necessarily. He was just a regular guy. I know we've got other characters like that. Indiana Jones is one of them that I don't
Hmm.
I don't look forward to that day. But
Yeah.
losing one man in a hat is enough. Um, but yeah, it's just something about those kind of people, right? The people who are capable of breaking, right? In film, that like there's something special about characters like that and people who portray them. And Sam Neill was just a flawless actor in Jurassic Park, and he sold that normal guy in such a beautiful way. And yeah, it's gonna be such a bummer, like to think about. We've been doing this podcast for what, 11, 12 years now, or whatever it's been, and we always
Yeah.
we always think about the future. We always think about what's next, and like, and now that's certainly one piece that's off the table. And even though we never assumed that probably that it'd come back at this point, it's still
Hmm.
such a bummer to know like that was the end. And yeah, so what does this guy mean to you as a fan of the franchise? Like what, as a kid who grew up watching these movies.
Well, I'll start with a funny story actually. So when Jurassic Park came out, I was around six, seven, um, and around that age. And when you're a kid like that, you see certain things in it, you don't understand the world necessarily. And there was a novella that my mom and grandmother watched at the time, and there was an actor in that novella that looked like Sam Neill. And when I was a kid, I thought that was Sam Neill. So I was like, I knew the movie Jurassic Park had come out, but I hadn't been able to see it yet because I didn't see it in the theaters when I was a kid. I saw it on VHS, and we've talked about that on a tiny
Mm.
TV screen. And so this actor would come out in this novella, and it looked like Sam Neill, and I used to and I used to wait for dinosaurs to show up in this novella. Because as a kid, I assumed that anything that Sam Neill was gonna do was gonna be dinosaur related, and it just goes to show you where how pivotal and important his character was in Jurassic Park. That I saw him on. I hadn't seen the movie yet, but I had the Alan Grant action figure. I had the folders. Yeah, look at that. That's that's the original one when you have that fading on
Mm-hmm.
the color.
Floppy legs.
I had the original, and so it's so important, those images before I even saw the film, and I was already had become a fan of his. And then when I see the movie, one of the first questions that came to mind was, "Hey, I thought he was a pteranodon trainer," because like
The
in
trading
the
cards, right?
yes, so I'm thinking the whole time that like what we saw in the Kenner toys was gospel to what the movie was, but it wasn't necessarily. But there's a funny little quip right there for everyone. But
That's amazing.
what he with Sam Neill, I love not just Jurassic Park. There's a few obscure movies that I love that he was in, and one of my favorites, and most people probably haven't seen this, was In the Mouth of Madness. It was I think a John Carpenter movie. It was a very very weird movie, and he plays this guy like an insurance agent who's trying to figure out this author that like disappeared. And I've always loved that movie, and most people don't know of it, I guess, because I've mentioned it, but nobody really knows. But it's a very obscure movie, and it's one of my favorite horror films, and he's the main actor in that. But aside from that, of course, with Jurassic, like the importance to my childhood, which I wanted to become a paleontologist because I saw this guy be so cool and so brave to stand against the T Rex with a flare, and just like he just made scientists cool, as so did Jeff Goldblum. Like it just opened this whole avenue for us nerdy kids. Like I wasn't this like popular kid growing up. I was the weird dinosaur kid growing up. I got made fun of and bullied for being smart. But then you watch a movie like this, and it just makes you feel like, when I grow up, I can be that guy. I can be this like really cool scientist and do things that can change the world and just stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, man.
I don't know.
Yeah. I remember being what, like 7 years old, and you know, you talk about a scientist, right? That like I was saying before, he's not a superhero. He's not Batman. He's not, you know, Batman doesn't have powers, but he's still a, you know, a billionaire with a cool suit. And this was just a scientist. Like and for a
Yeah.
7-year-old kid, um, you know, I think I had gone to, I think it was like my 2nd grade, like, Halloween party, I think, as, like, Alan Grant, or and then, like, there was another kid that also went as Alan Grant, and, like, so, like, it was impacting kids on that level where, like, you're just dressing up as a scientist. It's so funny to think about, you know, and it's so cool.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
honestly so cool that these characters that are scientists, became so important, to us as kids and to pop culture and everything, and honestly, like, just today alone has been a whirlwind because, like, you get to hear those stories and, you know, over and over again. Like,
Yes.
look, people die every single day. Some go out, you know, and people talk poorly about them or don't care or whatever. But a guy like Sam Neill is somebody that everybody had an amazing story, had a,
Mhm.
you know, a wonderful moment to tell or share, and you know, so many people that we know are in their positions right now in life because of that guy, right? And that movie, right? Um
Yeah.
being the paleontologist was like the more um I don't know if it's an easier role to get into, but nobody looked at Ian Malcolm and was like, yeah, I want to be a mathematician or chaotician, you know, like a paleobotanist, maybe, you know, people would get into that idea, but like the idea of digging up dinosaurs was
So
endlessly cool. And the amount of people that that character and the way it was portrayed, uh, that's just, you know, you don't really see a lot like that anymore. It's like I think those days are like gone. It feels like I don't know, you know.
yeah, it just feels like it's a hero, a type of person that is attainable that you can
Mm,
actually like become, and it inspires you because there are heroes, you know, our comic book heroes that we grew up with and all that, but there's a lot of mythology in that and superpowers and other things. This is a person that like most likely it like character that he played went to school. You can go to school and you can learn about dinosaurs, and if you love dinosaurs, even cooler because then who knows, maybe you get to name one, you know, discover a new species. That was like the dream. That was like always a thing. Like I'd love to have become a paleontologist and be able to name a dinosaur. Like there's a museum that we have here, Brad, the Elderman Fossil Park, and it's a awesome museum. And the guy that one of the scientists, paleontologists there, he was the one that named Dreadnoughtus,
oh wow.
and he had posted about it. The museum posted his post, and it was like it was an honor to hear Alan Grant, Sam Neill, name him in Dominion, and be like, "Is that a Dreadnoughtus?" Remember when he says that?
Yeah.
And how cool is that? That's probably somebody that grew up, loved Jurassic Park, became a paleontologist, found and discovered new dinosaur, and then sees one of the reasons that they became a paleontologist, name their discovery in a movie. That's like full circle, and it's beautiful. And to see all the
Yeah.
stories, and like you said, everybody's just saying how Sam Neill impacted their life and Jurassic, and it's amazing to see that this person was so well loved, and just seeing other celebrities and other people that worked with him, nothing but good things. And to
Yeah.
know that like one of the things that I loved watching about his videos, and when like um a while back when I had a different Twitter page, he was my friend on that Twitter page, or my one of the people that followed me back, and I was like,
Mm.
what? And I got to talk to him for like a second. Like I sent him a message, he sent it back, and it was just amazing. And it was like back in like 2012 or 2000. I don't know when was it that Twitter came out. It was around that, like, it was pretty new, and now it's whatever it is. But back then it was really cool because you got to like talk to people that you admired in the music world, in the acting world, and so on. And the dude was just so genuine, and all his videos were literally about his farm and his pig and the duck that he loved. And he would give these really experimental quotes. And there's one that's going around right now where he's talking about like what his dream is, and his dream is beautiful, like the things that he's talking. So it's like it's not only a person that we can admire on the screen, it's a person that we can admire in life, of like how he lived life. You know,
Hmm.
um, it's just it's sad to see a person like that pass away, like another good person that we lose. But it's beautiful to see the things and the people celebrate his life, you know? And
Yeah,
that's I don't it's just, you know.
yeah. It's been quite the journey because like as the news trickles out, people start to find out, right? And then you start to see
Yeah.
all the people who worked with him, and like you said, people who didn't even work with him, and as other celebrities. It's like it's kind of surprising
Mhm.
how far it stretches. Celebrities are are dying every day. It seems like, and not it's not always this impactful where it touches so many people, and then you start to see like Alessandro Nivola, Billy from Jurassic Park 3. He had said
Yeah, I
goodbye,
was
my
surprised.
friend. Yeah, and DeWanda Wise, talking about her time with him in
Mhm.
Dominion, and one that really completely broke me. And yeah, it was Joe Mazzello, Tim from Jurassic Park. He put a
Mhm.
video out this morning, and it was just like it just Tim. He's not the same kid he was in Jurassic Park, but like he still has all those feelings, and he's one of us. He's somebody that grew up and had these moments. And it's like, I think even Ariana Richards had said like something. What did she say? She said something along the lines of you thank you for making our scenes together feel so real. And
Yeah.
think that's awesome. The fact that he's able to give them as kids these moments. And yeah, those two broke me there. Um, and of course, Laura Dern commenting, that she's never gonna forget, Dr. Alan Grant or whatever, and Jeff Goldblum saying the next great adventure begins, love always and forever. That's it's hard, man. It's a lot, but these
And
people
like you said earlier,
are awesome.
like you said it before earlier, like people pass away every day, and like, so, and as well, like we never met the man, but we grew up with 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 this person, basically, so it's different because there's a lot of like celebrities and singers and stuff that pass, and I felt a certain way when they passed away, like, sad. But this one, it's different, man.
Yeah.
Like, if the listeners knew me personally in my personal life, they would be like, I'm not like this when a celebrity passes away. I'm sad, and condolences to the family, but it never hits me like this one's hitting.
Hmm.
And that's what I'm having, just kind of like, oh man, just thinking that and this is something that I was thinking as well. I can never ever truly have this, like, this visceral dislike that a lot of people have to Dominion, for the simple fact that I got to see Alan Grant's full circle.
Yeah.
And as much as people don't like certain things and elements in that film, I love that I got to see him find Ellie again, find happiness, and find like be Alan Grant again. You know, um, and as much as I have my gripes with JP3, I love that Grant was back. And that was Grant. And he was being Grant the whole time. There's no difference in his character, only that he's more weary and more studious of like what's going on with the Raptors, you know? And then you go back into the original film. It's just like the whole arc right there is amazing. And I can never really just yeah, with Dominion in that way. I was thinking about that earlier, because I'm always thinking like, why is it that I still hold this kind of like this film when everybody seems to not like it? I just hold it dear in a way, and I think it's because of that. And it wrote some of the wrongs that I felt in JP3 that I felt like as a kid that didn't hold for me, and one of them was always like Grant and Ellie separating, and it just but seeing them in Dominion, it was different.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's tough, man, because I feel that exact same way. Obviously, I love
Mhm.
Dominion like way more than probably 99% of people, um,
Yeah.
and uh, and yeah, he's certainly one of those reasons. And same with Jurassic Park 3. It's like don't love it, but he's one of the things. And unfortunately for me, I'm in the
Mm.
middle of recording a multi-part series about Jurassic Park 3 and the music of Jurassic Park 3. And we've gone through a lot, we've gone through half the movie's score so far. So in a little backs um what do you call it? Inside baseball, I guess.
Mhm.
Caleb and I record these in like 2-hour chunks basically, and we record over two
Oh,
sessions,
wow.
and then I cut that up into like 3 episodes. So the session that we just did was from the beginning, he's a sort of sailing situation to there's a, I forget what the name of the song is, but there's like an Eric saves the day or something along those lines. And so we
Mhm.
recorded all that, but like that's not one episode. That's going to be 2 episodes, or one in a and almost the second episode. But so next time we record on, it's going to be this part of the second episode and then also part of the third episode. So I still have to go through Jurassic Park 3 and talk about the second half of that movie. And the thing that, stood out to me while recording that was just like, and in the same way of Jurassic World Dominion, and Michael Giacchino really used the score so incredibly well. Every time Alan Grant steps on the screen, it's like Indiana Jones. Harrison Ford made that joke
Yeah.
that like every time I go somewhere, the theme follows me, and he just hears the Indiana Jones theme. That's this, and it's funny because the correlation between these characters is so close with Harrison Ford almost playing Dr. Alan Grant, but like
Yeah.
but like that theme follows him around, and they did it so well in Jurassic World Dominion, and then they did it literally the same way, but it ended up getting cut. Some of those sequences got cut from the movie. Some of the audio got cut, and I reintroduced it in that episode, and it was just really, it's just awesome to hear this cut music back in the film underneath Alan Grant, and in that same way that Dominion did it. It felt flawless and just perfect. Just to hear, it just when it's in the beginning of the movie with the rough smooth, and then Alan pulls up in the truck and gets out, and
Yeah.
then like there you hear the Jurassic Park theme, and it was so cool. And I it's gonna make it difficult to talk about. And hey, it stinks that this is happening right at the 25th anniversary of Jurassic Park 3. This celebration. And I know for people like me and you, it's like, man, we got to really conjure up a bit of energy to celebrate Jurassic Park 3. But like, oh man, he was the bright star of that thing. And man,
Oh, it definitely was,
it's
yeah.
it's and
Yeah, I
moments
remember
moments. Sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I don't even know where I was going. There's something like some of the things it was in Jurassic Park 3, like when the Jurassic Park theme comes in after the little dinner sequence in the beginning with Alan and Ellie talking about the Raptors. You remember all that stuff. But then, when she just says like he's the best, I'm like, dude, I don't think I'm gonna be able to watch that scene anymore. And just not think about
I look.
Sam and how he is the best,
Yeah, he says that line, "Last of my breed."
quite literally, yeah.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be like, you know, I'm thinking back to I think the one of the last times I felt like this from somebody in the Jurassic realm passing away was when Richard Attenborough passed away. And we weren't doing a podcast then. It was what, 2006, I think it was. It
Was that long ago?
was two,
Jeez.
yeah, it was Richard Attenborough. I remember I had heard that he fell down and he wasn't talking anymore. And I remember thinking, "Oh, okay, so that's not good."
No, it was 2014,
So,
so just a year before
oh, was it?
we started,
Oh,
yeah.
then 2006
Maybe.
was when he fell, I think.
Oh, okay.
Was it? Or 2008? I just remember being a while back. And I remember when he passed, that was rough too.
Yeah, well,
That
Michael Crichton died in
because it
2008.
that's who it was too, yeah. So when these pieces of your childhood start like, it also, even with just being about the, it's not always just also just about the person that passed. It's also a piece of yourself that's kind of like, you grew up with this childhood memory, childhood hero, and as they go and they seem to pass, it's like pieces of your life are start and it gets to like like you're at a certain point in your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
I know
that's
I know exactly what you mean because there's that quote in Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, where they say we've seemed to reach the age where life stops giving us things and starts taking them away, and that's like
oh wow,
whether you like that movie or
that's
not, like that quote hits hard, dude, and that is
yeah.
unfortunately where we are, and yeah, it's a bummer. You start seeing all these people that made these projects that we so vividly love, and you know, seeing
Yeah.
seeing John Williams be as old as John Williams is, and Steven Spielberg, and everybody like involved in these movies, and Harrison Ford, or you know, there was somebody I was just gonna say too, but it stinks. It really stinks. But that such is life, I guess.
Mhm.
Right? That is just how it goes,
That quote,
unfortunately.
that yeah, that quote that you just said, from Indiana Jones, it's absolutely perfect. This is exactly what I was trying to say.
Hmm.
That's, you reach a certain point in your life and you start seeing memories, and I'm not just talking about just like actors, and I mean in general in life, like relatives, friends, this and that. When you start reaching a certain point where, like, yeah, like life starts taking stuff rather than bringing, it's a it's almost like a retrospect you have on yourself too. So not only is this the death of this person is affecting you in that way, it's also making you look at yourself as well, like, wow, I'm getting old, man. you know it's
Hmm.
like, oh, I remember this guy when I was 6 years old, and now he's gone. And then you start thinking, oh wow, like, I don't know, it's just it's been a day, man.
Yeah, it's been a pretty rough day. I brought out these toys just because I just want to look at them. Like you mentioned the faded shirts.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
also brought
yeah.
out this one. Look at the faded white shirt on
Oh
that. It's just
wow.
yellow
Yeah,
now.
it's a blue.
So
Yeah,
I've
it's
got I've
yellow.
got my Kenner, blue shirt Allen, white shirt Allen. White shirt Allen always reminded me of like my dad, because like he wore
Yeah.
that kind of outfit to work. And he always wore a white shirt like this with like jeans or something, and so it always reminded me of him. But like it's funny because Alan Grant is like the ultimate dad, yet a guy who didn't like kids.
Yeah, right.
It's funny. It's
It's
funny.
it's ironic.
but, like, these toys, man, you
Sir.
know, we talk about just the actor and all that stuff, but, like, the character has lived with us just so much, and through
Uh-huh.
these toys right here, you know, these 2 Kenner, you know, human action figures that don't really look anything like him, but they are him, and, like, the amount of stories that we did, you know, as kids, right, just with these toys just sitting there
Oh, yeah.
in the yard, in the basement, wherever in the room, just coming up with everything, and that's honestly, like, I I I guess I like the newer movies more so because of that. Because when I was a kid, I created these bombastic scenes, these dinosaur
Oh,
battles,
yeah.
people running away on motorcycles, and you know, Kenner was able to give us that opportunity to do that stuff as kids, and to have Alan Grant with us the whole time, and to create these fun, crazy stories. So I sympathize, I think, a little bit more with the Jurassic World trilogy and the new one even, I guess, in that regard, because they're fun action romps that are, I don't know, just good. But you know, these toys stood by me and they're still here. These original ones, the legs on Alan Grant, you know, I can get them to stand,
Yeah.
but like any if luckily we don't have earthquakes all too often out here, otherwise he'd be falling constantly. So I usually have him sitting down, but you know, the toys are also just a very important part of the memory, you know, of Alan Grant, and yeah, man.
Yeah, I was looking at mine when I got home. I have them on this shelf. I can't they're, like, on a top shelf. I can't get to them real
Mhm.
easily because I got all my cat's tree and all that stuff right there in that little corner. But, I was looking at them and, you know, just thinking about those days, you know, how, like, I would create these fantastic films, and that's why I think I have an affinity for the world ones too, for the crazy plots and stuff like that. Like, I don't know if it was on a podcast with you or if it was with Ted, where I talked about how I created this character that was Ludlow's brother, and his name was Ludwig, and he was creating the chaos effect dinosaurs, and you know they kidnapped Alan and Ellie and Malcolm and brought them to the island to work for them, you know, to create the Omega T-Rex, which was the, you know, the secret dinosaur they were trying to create. And you know, just thinking back where I created Jurassic Park 13. You know, like I made these posters and logos for each Jurassic Park. One of them I remember specifically was like Jurassic Park 4 or 5 or something. And it was like the dinosaurs attacked Ellie and Alan Grant's wedding. Like these are the things that like I was creating as a kid, you know, and like and I would do like announcements to myself like next Saturday, Jurassic Park 13 premieres. You know, like I would do that because I had two sisters. I didn't really even play Jurassic Park Two Sisters, so I played a lot by myself, and I created these worlds. On my bed, making my bed like I would put pillows to make valleys and mountains and you know, and if I couldn't play outside that day, you know, if it was raining, I would create my own world. I had that imagination to do it, and these toys open that all up, and then I would interchange toys from like if I wanted another character that I didn't have for Jurassic Park Kenner, I'd take my Bruce Wayne Batman and make him a character. He was security. I actually remember like painting a JP logo on his back in red, and he was like the security guard at the Chaos Effect facility. Like I still he's somewhere out there. I'm not. I'll show him one day. Like I'll post him up on Instagram. I found him the other day looking through stuff. Like this this JP big like painted with on his back, and I think it's a nail polish. You know, it's just that's the memories that hold me dear, knowing that that like he might have passed, but he has no idea. I think he has an idea, but like to the extent of how he flourished the childhoods of so many kids, you know? So many kids out there just grew up with a hero that was Sam Neill, Alan Grant, you know? And just like been able to do that, make our imaginations run and I mean be one of the catalysts to making us dinosaur fanatics, loving dinosaurs, you know? I always say that when I saw Rexy, I fell in love with dinosaurs, but when I saw the movie and saw Alan Grant, I fell in love with paleontology, even though I never went into the field myself. But it's just like it's almost like that like dream that you have that you can't really do. That I'd love to just had been a paleontologist instead of what I do, which is tattooing. But
But no, I think the best thing is that he definitely knew, right? He had to
oh
have
yeah,
known. He's been going to conventions and so many fans were lucky enough to meet him
yeah,
and get
yeah.
those stories. So he absolutely knows what he did to all of us. He knows. And I think the most, beautiful part about him is the fact that, like, yes, he's this actor and movie star and all that. He's just incredibly grounded and a man of
Mhm,
the earth and a man of activism and just being a kind and good person fighting for you know changes and just being a absolute gem of a human being. He's if you ever watched any of his Instagram videos, he'd be fighting for New Zealand, to not get mined out, for gold or whatever, and
mhm.
he's taking care of every animal in existence out there, and it's just beautiful to see. And he's just a solid human being that like cared about the earth that we live on, and we need more people like that, not less. So it's a
Yeah,
bummer that that's the case, but hopefully people will be inspired
be
by him,
inspired. Yeah.
to do more like that. Hopefully.
Yeah, that's a big part of that because outside of Jurassic, from what we've seen, he was just a good dude, and we don't have a lot of that. We don't. We really don't. Like, um, we need more good people on this planet. We need more people that want to fight to protect this planet, to protect the animals and the environment, because when that goes, we go. There's no way around it. Like, what are we doing, people? What are we doing? You don't protect the earth, you don't protect the animals, don't protect the environment. It's just this is the only home we've ever known, and we're supposed to flourish it, nourish it, protect it. And you know, I don't want to go down this venue, but like every day I see protections being taken away from certain environments and species on the brink of extinction, being brought back, and now being we got to take a good look at what Sam Neill was doing. And there's a didn't he do somebody can correct me on this when they listen to this, the listeners. He didn't he worked on a documentary on some endangered species on some island he spent time with. Um, he did something
I
last year. I
know,
can't remember what it
yeah,
was. Yeah,
I
you know what
forget
I'm
what it
talking
was.
about.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember
Mm-hmm.
what the the stance was or whatever he was doing. But just the fact that like I was going through so many of his Instagram videos today and just like
Mm-hmm.
just taking it all in, and just
Mm-hmm.
because this honestly like goes back to I'm sure he did plenty before this, but like I feel like when everybody really started noticing how fun of a follow he really was honestly like around Dominion, and it was like wow, like
Yeah. Yeah.
the fact that that was a movie that i- is quite historic, and I know there's been a lot of articles about how it's the most expensive movie ever made, but they're really
Right.
those articles are missing the context of the fact that this was the biggest production really that came out of COVID, and that was if you weren't
Mm-hmm.
there, you don't really understand how intense it was and how crazy it was for them
Mm-hmm.
to be pursuing continuing this movie and the fact that like he was there with everybody else, all the actors, everybody was in this mansion in the UK, and we got to see so many incredible videos from him, from Jeff, from Laura, from Bryce, and everybody, like, really just hanging out and just hearing him and Jeff sing together, and just beautiful stuff, man. Yeah, playing piano, just like it was so captivating that time, and then to just see him, producing wine and with his two paddocks
Yeah.
brand, and see him hanging out with pigs and ducks, and naming them after his friends or whatever. It's quite comical and fun, and just like, honestly, he's the kind of person that makes you just want to be a better person. So hopefully Sam Neill
Yeah.
can bring that to the world at this point.
Yep.
Hopefully.
Definitely, man. Yeah, like when I first started seeing about him having the farm and everything, I think that's where my view of life changed a bit. And I was actually talking to my girlfriend about this, and I tell her like my goal in life is to get away from this type of environment and go more in an environment like he was doing. Um, I want more of that simple type of life. And I feel like as I grow my beard, I'm becoming more of that hermit, like like Grant that they talked about making that one movie. Spielberg was saying that he lived on the island.
Yeah.
Because right now I look like Robert Backer a bit, or a little bit like Grant on what is it?
Mhm.
The Hunt for the was it
The
the
Hunt
Hunt
for
for
the
the
Wilder
Wilder
People.
People?
Yeah.
Where he
Great
grew out
movie.
his beard a bit.
Go
He
watch that
grew out
movie,
his beard.
everybody. Yeah.
You know, it's just, and then he did another one too. It wasn't a big role, but it was important enough. When The Hunter with Willem Dafoe,
Oh,
wonderful
yes.
film.
Yes.
About looking for thylacines if they still exist, and it's thylacine. I don't know if you know, Brad, but is one of my favorite endangered.
Mhm.
I mean, extinct
Extinct,
animals of
yeah.
our
Yeah,
time that
just awesome. Yeah.
we did that to them. You know.
Yeah, awesome
Um,
creature.
but yeah, it's just I feel that that type of life breeds good people. Like I don't know, just like the simplicity of life. When you make it too complicated, the message gets lost. And I don't know, man. It's a sad day, but it's beautiful to see how many people this man has inspired, or just you know touched. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's insane how many, like every story I see, people that don't even like Jurassic Park, I see them post about Sam Neill. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy, man.
And
You
the
know?
wildest part is that we got him as Dr. Alan Grant this year. I know it's a lot of people complained about that Xfinity commercial, but like I remember
Yeah,
watching
oh,
that, and like
I loved it, man.
I
It was a little weird in some parts, but I loved it. I was excited. So many people sent me that, man. It's
yeah,
funny. The same people that text me today were sending me that commercial.
it was certainly, it had a weird element to it, but like the honestly, like the behind the scenes of it all, and the thing itself was just incredible that
Yeah,
like they were making that. And I remember saying like, this is probably the last time, we'll ever see him as Alan Grant, and Laura Dern as Ellie Sattler, and Jeff Goldblum as Ian Malcolm. It's
Malcolm.
like that's probably it. They're probably not coming back to the franchise at this point. It just doesn't seem likely. And yeah,
Yeah,
that was our last Dr. Alan Grant. But I was, I kind of completely forgot that we are getting him in a Godzilla movie, which is fantastic. That is
that's
coming
right. That's
next year.
right. That's
Uh,
right. I was so excited when I heard that news. I'm like, wow, he's going from dinosaurs to kind of like Godzilla's kind of a big
yeah,
atomic lizard dinosaur thing. I always kind of like, that's why I'm a Godzilla fan. Like I
yeah.
always kind of associate them the same. Like look at it. Like
That's,
see.
oh, so cute. I love that. That's why me and Tom cover like Monarch Legacy of Monsters. I know everybody's like,
Yeah, now
get back to talking
I can
about
finally listen
Jurassic,
to
but
it.
yeah, but like that's I love those movies because they're so adjacent to Jurassic, dinosaur-esque
Mhm.
kind of content and monsters and stuff, but, like, I cannot wait to see what he does in
He
Godzilla X
does,
Kong
yeah.
Supernova. I mean, I have no idea what his role is gonna be. Hopefully, it's like it's the kind of role that we can sink our teeth into and just really love. Hopefully, we get that downward, like, brow stare of, Dr. Alan Grant that he does so well in those movies. Just I love that guy. He's just such an incredible actor, and I can't wait to
Yeah,
see
that
the next ones.
yeah, Spielberg said it in, like, one of those, like, beh like, not behind the scenes, but making of, where he's like, "And then you got Sam Neill," and literally just with an eyebrow stare, you know what he's thinking, like, it's like, he does that look, you
Yeah,
know? And
yeah,
imagine we're watching Godzilla, Supernova, right? Godzilla, King Kong, Supernova, and then we hear him go. Somebody goes, you hear like a roar, and somebody goes, "I think it's Godzilla." He goes, "No, sounds bigger."
dude. I mean, look, honestly,
That'd be great.
Skull Island came out, and Sam Neill was in that. Not Sam Neill. Samuel L. Jackson was in the movie saying, "Hold on to your butts."
Mhm.
So, like, the opportunity is there. The precedent has been set for like, and even look at what's his name, Jeff Goldblum himself. He literally says, must go faster, must go faster. Like in Independence Day
Independence Day, yeah,
and Jurassic Park. So,
yeah,
like, we can do it. We can do it with Sam Neill. It's possible.
no callback.
I hope they did it. I hope they did it. Um, and yeah, I mean, he finished his production on that, so it's not like we're gonna get a half kind of acted role or whatever. But
Yeah.
so luckily we do have some performances left from him. And there's that. There's apparently something called The Last Resort, and I don't know what this is. It says Freedom Flight. It says it's optioned property. I don't know what the heck that means, but yeah,
Mhm.
sucks, man. It sucks that we are sitting here recording about this, and I can barely string together too long of a sentence without uh, you know, wanting to sob about him because he's just the best.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
really is
same,
the
man.
best. And yeah, it was tough to get through today, but the BBC actually reached out to the podcast and wanted to hear from somebody,
Really?
and I had actually sent over Tom Jurassic. I sent him,
Yeah, of
the
course, yeah.
UK man himself to cover that. So there is an interview. I'll try to see if I can include that in this episode and get that in
Oh,
there.
that'd be
And
nice.
yeah, so he had some very kind words to say on the radio about Sam Neill. And yeah, I mean, there's just go seek out all the people online, just all the fellow actors out there that are talking about him. And yeah, I've seen a lot of
Mhm.
people say, like, check in on your millennial dinosaur fan friends, check in on everybody, make sure they're doing okay. And yeah, I think that you get the text messages, and everybody knows who to contact, right? Like, we all know you were one of my
Mhm.
first people. I'm like, I got to make sure he's okay. I actually checked first. I was like, let me see if he's posted anything. You didn't post anything. I'm like, uh-oh, maybe he's still sleeping. He might not know yet. He's sleeping
I
in
was,
peace. I
yeah.
don't want to
I
ruin it.
was.
But yeah, and
He was,
yeah.
yeah, my sister texted me, like, real early, you did right after her, and then I had my mom actually sent me a text too, and then it was just a bunch of other people too, and then on social media, a bunch of stuff, and that's where, like, I immediately, like, when I read my sister's, I was like, "No," and then I read yours, I'm like, I went immediately onto, like, Google, and I was like, "Oh, no," you know? That's when it was confirmed, but yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like one of the cool things people could do, you know, celebrate Sam Neill is, of course, watch all the Jurassic seasons because they're awesome. Um, some of his other movies that not many people have probably heard of, like, definitely somebody out there check out In the Mouth of Madness. It is very campy and crazy, but it is such a great film. He did Event Horizon as well. I
Mhm.
love that movie too. He is crazy in that movie. Um, he was in Peaky Blinders.
Yep.
He was great as this really like semi crooked cop kind of thing. It's weird to see him play a villain. It was strange to see him play a villain in Event Horizon. It's weird to see him play a villain in in Peaky Blinders. You know,
But that's that that
uh,
that eyebrow, like, that stare that he gives is so
yeah,
it's like it's almost villain-esque in Jurassic, so it works really well in other projects, you know?
yeah.
Hunt for Red October,
He's
you know,
still.
that was one of my dad's favorite
Oh yeah,
movies, when we were growing
great
up,
film
so,
too.
yeah.
Him opposite Sean Connery.
Mhm.
You know. Um, of course, he did the original Omens. He was Damien.
Yeah,
You
it
know.
was, The Omen 3, I think, right? Like, that was,
Yeah, that one. Yeah, where he's like,
not
I
one of
think
the
he
best ones,
becomes.
but but it was still
But
you gotta
he's in
watch it.
there.
You gotta watch it, yeah.
Yeah. He's just got a gigantic iconography of just films and movies and TV shows and
Yeah.
stuff that he's done, and he's done so much.
Almost becoming
So
James
like,
Bond, you know, like, he was that close to becoming James Bond. Um, yeah.
yeah, dude, he's it's sad that he's passed, but Sam Neill can be proud of the life that he had. He did a lot of good films and good for like the earth with what he was doing and just being a genuinely nice person. And
Mhm.
that's something that you see everywhere. It's just like it's always really cool to see when somebody passes and just no one has a bad thing to talk about this person. And that's you know
Well,
it's great like
it
that.
one of the one of the best things that I've seen out of today was the fact that, like, people will start talking about Sam Neill, and they can't help but just bring up all of the other incredible people they either worked with or other incredible people that may have already
Mhm.
passed, and I think it just shows, like, how generous of a person, like, he was and how he worked with such great people, and he, like, how selfless he is as a person makes other people think about all of the other, people in their lives, and they're not only saying kind things about him, but they're
Exactly.
saying kind things about everybody, and it's usually it's just like you just focus in on this one person, that person died, but a lot of people have been, like, reflecting on other people with this news, and it's been interesting to watch, and I
Mhm.
think it just shows how, like, selfless of a person he was and how, that reflects back on the people who are remembering him and thinking about him at this time, so yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, we could talk about him forever, and we certainly
Oh,
have.
yeah, I know.
We've been doing it for 10, 11, 12 years, whatever now, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. So,
No, it's
I
not.
know
Legacy lives on.
we have an episode concept I had came up with prior to this, um, but we'll cover that soon with Jay. After we get through the music episodes, we got more music episodes covering Jurassic Park 3. Try to make the most of this celebration. If you're out there in like the Hollywood area, please make sure to go check out Stephen Ray Morris's Instagram or wherever his pages are, and just he's got a screening that's happening out there in LA area, I think. And
That's
yeah,
so
go
cool.
check out Jurassic Park 3. It's going to be in theaters. He's going to be screening it like for like two showings. And I think Jurassic Park 3 also coincides with my son's birthday, so it's got that fun,
Oh, wow.
thing, but, so yeah, we'll be celebrating a lot of things this weekend, and, yeah, but, go check out, Jurassic Park 3 in theaters with Stephen Ray Morris and all the I think he's got some fun guests and things lined up, so they'll certainly be paying
Awesome.
tribute to him, I'm sure, and, yeah,
Mhm.
just share your thoughts, everybody, hey, if anybody has thoughts, I don't really I didn't wanna, like, make content out of this. I know that's what this podcast is,
Mhm.
right? But, like, that's not the way I see it technically. It's just me and you and, just sharing our feelings about a person who's really important
Yeah.
to us, and, but,
Mhm.
hey, if that does push anybody else to wanna talk about it and, open up and share their feelings, please go ahead, call our voicemail line 732-825-7763, or you can leave a voicemail, or open up your phone and record a message and send that to JurassicParkPod@gmail.com. And I'll try to include that in some upcoming episode where we can maybe pay some more tribute to the man. But yeah, Jay, any final thoughts here before we head out?
Um, just like just a message, I guess, would be thank you for everything. My childhood, like, really thanks, and also my adulthood, like my whole life, honestly, to this man for all the inspiration and all the like laughs and just great times when I was a kid playing with toys, and as an adult creating art from the franchise that he is pretty much the main guy, Um I just really want to thank the dinosaur man, you know. And rest in peace, you know.
Yeah, man.
So
Well said. Dinosaur man. He's
yeah, the dinosaur man.
It's the best. Now we got to go back and watch Jurassic Park 3. You ready? Let's do it.
I'm actually gonna watch it tonight, man.
Yeah.
and the first one.
I'm like a little afraid to press play on the movies, just because, like, honestly, it happened with like Robin Williams, when he passed away. It was like,
Oh yeah,
I was like
too.
afraid to watch Jumanji and Hook and like those movies that meant so much to me as a kid. And yeah, it's gonna be tough, but we're all here. We can do it. We can get through it together. So I appreciate everybody listening in on this, and thanks, Jay, for talking about Sam Neill with me for a little bit. And
of course, man.
that's all we got. We'll be back with more episodes soon. So thank you, everybody.
How much did it mean to you to write the book and dealing with that cancer at the time? I mean, does it mean that you're not afraid of dying now?
No, I've got no fear of dying, but at all, And I know people for whom this is a great fear, but it doesn't worry me at all. I just want to live longer because life's good, and I feel very blessed with the life I've had.
Is here in England, is a contributor on the Jurassic Park podcast. Welcome to you, Tom. And also joining us from New Zealand is Matthew Tukaki, who is chair of the National Maori Authority. Matthew, if I can start with you, hearing the news of Sam Neill's passing, I mean, where did your mind first go? How will you be reflecting on his life?
Yeah, Morena, I mean, unlike everybody else so far, not on movies, although my favourite movie was Hunt for the Wilder People with Sam Neill in it. No, I met Sam randomly again. I've met him a couple of times, and he wouldn't remember who the hell I was. But it was in a random place on a Sydney street, and it was about parakeets and cockatoos. And as random as that is, I lived around the corner from Sam in a place called Glebe when I lived in Australia, and I had a parakeet problem. These pesky little parrots would come along to my balcony, and they would leave all sorts of nature-type messes, and after them would come the cockatoos, and randomly, quintessentially Kiwis, this is what we do. Instead of saying, oh my God, there's Sam Neill, can I get your autograph and get a selfie? No, we started talking about what to do about the parakeets and the cockatoos. He had experience, of course, gave me an awesome tip for feeding the parakeets, so they went and basically crapped on somebody else's balcony. And in terms of the cockatoos, gave me some great advice on how to ignore them. And of course, he was a lover of farmyard animals. His farm down there in the bottom of the South Island, his winery, if you like, he named his animals. I think one of the ducks was named after Nicole Kidman. I think there was another one named after an Australian host, and Magda Sabansky also was named after one of his farmyard animals. And I also concur. I have partaken in some of those bottles of Pinot Noir, the two Paddocks wines, and they are stunning. And I did have a bottle here at home, and when I found out that Sam had passed away at St Vincent's, I thought, well, let's crack that bottle open.
He seemed very proud of his New Zealand roots and of the country.
Mm. Yeah, he was, and because a lot of people don't know this. I mean, I guess when you're a famous actor, your mind tends to turn to the films that they were in. But Sam was at his heart, and this probably stemmed also from his Irish roots. People forget his name wasn't actually Sam. He gave himself that name, Sam, because his actual name was Nigel, and he decided to change his name at school because his two best mates' names were Nigel. But that quintessential Kiwi sort of DNA comes from those Irish roots of his, I suspect. He was a councillor on the regional council down the bottom of the South Island. He recently took on a minister of the Crown to try and stop gold mining or gold prospecting or something down there in the bottom of the South Island. He was just an incredible person, other than being an amazing actor.
Tom, you contribute to the Jurassic Park podcast, so no prizes for guessing which part of Sam Neill's career you're particularly fond of. But actually, you're a lot younger than the films themselves. So when did you first come to them and come to Sam Neill's work?
Yeah, so I sort of first came into the films with Jurassic World, really, and then kind of before that I'd seen the original trilogy and sort of really been introduced to Sam's work that way. But I think what I really saw quite quickly is the fact that the online sort of Jurassic Park community, if you like, really held a reverence for Sam and the massive impact that his character had had on a lot of them.
And what was it about him in those films particular that you enjoyed so much?
I think for me, it's actually giving so much interesting visibility to a scientific character. Like, it's really interesting when you talk to, say, people who work for the Natural History Museum, for example, that actually for the first time when they were in their formative years in the 90s, they saw a paleontologist on screen who was cool and exciting and kind of thought for the first time, that could be me, that's a career I might go into. So I think in that kind of vein, the performance that Sam brought to that character really connected with audiences and actually inspired people in a way that other actors might have struggled with given the subject material.
Were you a Jurassic Park fan, Matthew?
I must admit I'm not. I'm more a fan of his other movie, Hunt for Red October. I think it's amazing that Sam actually played villains really well. And not that Hunt for Red October was necessarily a villain, but certainly people forget that he was one of the lead characters in the Omen series. I think Damien Omen 3 it was. And also, the very quintessential book, Sleeping Dogs, was written by a very famous New Zealand author called C.K. Stead. Sam had the ability, in my view, to play characters that you wouldn't suspect. I mean, even, I think it was Dark Angels or Evil Angels or something like that, with the that was in relation to the taking of the baby by Lindy Chamberlain's up there in the Northern Territory, famous line being, "Dingo stole my baby." And so, yeah, I think it was a character all round. I mean, what couldn't he play? And as for Lord of the Rings, I reckon he would have made an amazing Elrond had it not been for his friend Hugo Weaving.
Make the case, Tom, if Matthew hasn't seen Jurassic Park, as for why, well, it's such a good franchise, Sam Neill is so good in it, and also why it's something that has persisted, and it's something that you contribute to a podcast about, even though we're sort of many years on from the original films. Why it's something that's lasted for so long?
Well, how long do we have? I just think it's such a piece of cinema history. Like, that film, the cinematic techniques that are used, the way that CGI was used for the first time, all of those sorts of things really make it a piece in time that is just special. There's nothing quite like that. But I think equally a lot of the themes that film explores are still relevant today. And I'd venture to say that there are a lot of themes that Sam was passionate about personally as well. You know, themes about being careful with science, being respectful for nature, and actually treating animals with the reverence and the respect that they deserve. So I think there's a lot that you can really take from the film that is applicable today, and equally a lot you can take from Sam outside of the film that further drives forward those same messages as well, I feel.
Did you get to meet him?
I did. I met him at London Film and Comic Con in 2018. I got a photo with him, and looking back at that today has been really special, actually, and I'm really glad that I had that opportunity.
Fabulous. Thank you both so much for joining us. I appreciate it. Tom Fishenden here in England, and Matthew Tukaki, who is in New Zealand, but it's actually the middle of the night, so a special thank you to Matthew.